rob their mother for the ends. Rats snitch on one another for the ends. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ends. So before we go any further, I want my ends. I knew this cat named Bill, he didn't have a dollar. He was Harvard material, Ivy League scholar. Had a PhD, had an MBA. But now he's waiting tables cause his rent to pay. Companies downsizing, inflation's rising. Can't find a job, he's feeling kinda stressed. Doesn't even feel the effects when he says, forgot to count how many times they've been blessed. So he falls off track, starts smoking the crack. And once it hits his brain, starts to chain react. Sells his shirt off his back, shoes off his feet. He's losing all his teeth, now he's out in the street. And all of a sudden it's like Jesse James trying to stick up his for their watches and chains. But he's from business school and he's nervous with the tools. So he ends up on his back in a bloody pool for the ends. Some people will rob their mother for the ends. Rats snitch on one another for the ends. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ends. So before we go any further, I want my ends. I knew this chick named Sally. She had a nice strut, and everywhere that I went, she was up in the cut, swinging that butt like glacier at here. Only rap the men's that rock the fly gear. Brand name wearing, champagne waving, jewels around the neck, lifestyle she's craving. Ain't no saving, she's doing all the spending. If you do the lending, she'll do the bending. Straight machine bending, it's money for tail. Shopping sprees, get her on her knees.
Y'all know, make sure you hit the thumbs up. YouTube really cares.
Come home one day, find her counting out your money. From the wetlands all the way to the Apollo. If you're broke, she's spitting. If you're rich, she might swallow for the ends. Some people will rob their mother for the ends. Rats snitch on one another for the ends. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ends. So before we go any further, I want my ends. Homeboys that made a lot of noise, making money on the block, and kids was on their job. They was tougher than leather, like Reverend Ron. DMC, they was toting guns, holding weight, going out of state, stacking mad chips and pushing fat whips. Fly jewels and clothes and got no job, and then one disappeared and one got robbed for the ends. Some people will rob their mother for the ends. Rats snitch on one another for the ends. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ends. So before we go any further, I want my ends. Ends. Some people will rob their mother for the ends. Rats snitch on one another for the ends. Sometimes kids get murdered for the ends. I've all seen the it's like. Mary got pregnant from a kid named Tom, said he was in love. Said, don't worry about a thing, baby doll, I'm the man you've been dreaming of. But 3 months later, he said he won't date or return her call. And she swear, goddamn, if I find that man cutting off his balls. And then she heads for the clinic and she gets some static walking through the door. They call her a killer and they call her a sinner and they call her a whore. God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in her shoes. Then you really might know what it's like to have to choose. Then you really might know what it's like. 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 I seen a rich man beg, I seen a good man sin, I seen a tough man cry. I seen a loser win and a sad man grin, I heard an honest man lie. I seen the good side of bad and the downside of up and everything between. I licked the silver spoon, drank from the golden cup and smoked the finest green. I stroked the baddest dimes at least a couple of times before I broke their heart. You know where it ends, yo, it usually depends on where you start. I knew this kid named Max, he used to get fat stacks out on the corner with drugs. He liked to hang out late, he liked to get shit-faced to keep the pace with thugs. Until late one night, there was a big gunfight and Max lost his head. He pulled out his chrome 45, talked some shit and wound up dead. Now his wife and his kids are caught in the midst of all of his pain. You know, it comes that way, at least that's what they say when you play the game. God forbid you ever had to wake up to hear the news. Then you really might know what it's like to have to lose. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like. Yeah, then you really might know what it's like to have to lose.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy, Pigskin Pete, and of course, your boy Sea Dog. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Pity Party Show. I mean the ACC show slash therapy session. How's it going, Sea Dog?
You know what? I'm gonna need one of these to get through this, I think.
Oh, a nice cold root beer?
Yep, Hanson's. Never had it before, but you can check it out there. I'll be sure to let you know how it makes me feel.
You're some kind of a root beer connoisseur, aren't you?
I am.
Yes.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that's good. Man, usually these weird ones I've never heard of aren't that good, but ooh, I like that.
Where do you get these exotic root beers?
Well, my mother-in-law showed up with them, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably Lidl or something. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, we have Lidl here. Yeah.
I guess this would be our shooting the shit segment. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Pretty much anything besides
anything besides talking about ACC football.
Oh man!
But before we get to the shooting the shit part, remind everybody first of all to hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here. I do these college football videos and live streams year round on this channel, of course, every single Tuesday night throughout the football season and maybe beyond. Right here on this channel, we will be doing the ACC show, where we review the previous week's games and talk about some of the upcoming games for the next week, and also maybe some, if we have some time at the end of the show, we'll talk about some point spreads in the ACC if you are a gambler out there. I do want to remind everybody, if you want to support the show and what me and C-Dog are doing here with this show, there is a PayPal in the link of the description of this live stream and every other live stream I do. There's a super chat option down at the bottom of the chat section. And also, if you want to support a good cause, there is a link in the description to a GoFundMe for our boy BVD, who is now home, C-Dog. He's home.
Great news. You know, he hit me up yesterday. He was talking to me. You know, I was giving him some encouragement. You know, he was telling me what he's still having to go through, and we're all still pulling for good old BVD there, but yeah.
I believe I saw him make a community post. He's going to be going live at some point tonight. I don't know exactly what time. Maybe during this show, actually. I don't know, or after. But anyway, y'all go check him out and show him some love, because he certainly needs it. Thank you for the super chat. Brandon Pratt says, nerds love root beer. Yes.
Any joke you guys want to throw my way, I'm not even going to argue it. I'm pretty much very demoralized, defeated. So throw your jokes at me. I can take it. I've taken so much already.
I thought I had somewhat of a bad Saturday night with the loss to Georgia, and then I saw the video you uploaded.
Oh, don't worry.
And it made me feel a lot better about my night.
Yeah, you just lost one game. I lost two.
Yeah, right.
Of course, my Jackets lose in about the worst fashion possible to one of the easiest game on our schedule, and of course, then my hated in-state rival wins their huge, week one matchup that's been hyped up. I'm just as upset about the Clemson loss as you are, man. Trust me. It's rough. I promise you, I am. I cannot stand the Georgia Bulldogs.
I know.
More than anything.
You might be more upset than me, honestly, because I'm not really that upset about it right now.
I'm very, very upset that Georgia won.
I would have been upset had Clemson got blown out. That would have pissed me off.
Right.
But this game really could have gone either way. I
mean, what tells me, I'm sure we'll go in depth about the game, but it tells me that Clemson and Georgia are about the same, about as good as each other.
Yeah, I think we knew that. I think most of us knew that going in. I mean, the spread was only 3 points. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty.
And that's what I was saying. I was saying it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that, it wound up being the defensive touchdown that kind of sealed the deal for Georgia to get the win. It kind of makes sense. Otherwise, you take that away, it goes into overtime at 3-3. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was a million mistakes made on each side of the ball, so it's not like you can just point to one certain thing. But at the end of the day, it was just a dominant defensive performance by both teams, really.
Yep.
And Georgia just made that one extra play that counted. That pick six was the difference in winning the game and losing it. So if they played today or this weekend, you could have a 10-3 victory from Clemson or or whatever. I don't know. So
I thought I knew it would be like a defensive game. I knew that headed in. I thought it'd be in the 20s though, not heading 10-3. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I don't really think anybody saw that coming. The over/under was like 50.
Yeah, and it also seems like there's a lot of defensive football this weekend. I know this is an ACC show, but that Wisconsin Penn State game,
yeah.
too. And then last night, or I guess it would be the night before, I clicked on the Notre Dame game, and they were like throwing like completing passes and throwing touchdowns. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's probably for people that like to bet out there. I have heard people say that you should probably take mostly unders week 1 and maybe even week 2 for that matter, because early in the season, the offenses haven't caught up yet. The defenses are usually typically ahead.
They say, the most improvement is from week 1 to week 2. Let's hope.
Well,
for our sake.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about some of these. We'll talk about last weekend this week. We'll go through these game by game. But in the meantime, I want to acknowledge all the fine people in the chat here and thank them for showing up. We have GF Sports, Jerome Shit Talking Pruitt, Colby says, Pete, can you play Regulate by Warren G? I am taking requests. I do have the music planned out before the show, so I don't change the lineup during the intro. But I will keep that in mind, possibly for the week after next. So next week, Sea-Dog is going to be picking the music. So I'm sure we'll be listening to some more Greta Van Fleet.
Rocking out to some Greta Van Fleet, baby.
Daniel Wade is here. Luke, the depressed Tar Heel. Yes. Join the club, sir. How many ACC fans we got in here? Well, I guess if you're a Boston College fan, an NC State fan, a Wake Forest fan, a Virginia Tech fan, or a Pitt fan, or a Syracuse fan, or a Virginia fan.
Syracuse.
maybe even if you're a Florida State fan, because I know they lost, but there's still something there to be happy about.
Right.
Where was I at here? Caden Smith, LW, John Kelly, Pizza Woman, Captain Trips, GF Sports. I think I might already said him. Jordan Bowman. He says abolish ACC football. No, we can't do that. We won't have a show to do anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a glass half full kind of person most of the time, Sea-Dog. Yeah. I know it's hard for you to feel that way right now after Georgia Tech's performance, but I think as far as the ACC goes, I think there are some good things that came out of this weekend. I mean, it was mostly bad, but I think there was a couple of good things that came out of it. Nate the Great is here. Snake Doctor. Brendan Pratt. Tiger Paw Craven. Nick DTV. Brad Highwood. Christopher McDavitt.
That's says my man right there. He's a Tech fan.
Okay.
Poor guy's a Tech fan.
Oh yeah, I can see by his avatar there.
Oh yeah, people keep saying I have an echo.
They're saying that?
Yeah, I listened to it real quick, and it sounds like it does sound kind of weird if you listen to it on the show. I'm not sure. Here, I'll try unplugging my mic and fixing that. Sorry about that.
Hold on a second.
Or it might be on OBS. It might be capturing my audio.
How about it should be better now? Is it better now? I think it was on my end.
Yeah, that fixed it. Okay.
All right, you good now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you for whoever let us know that in the comment section. I don't know why, but never mind. I'm not going to bore anybody with the technical things here, but for some reason, my settings sometimes save on OBS, and other times I have to go in there every time I open it up and reset them. I don't understand what that's about, but whatever.
Well, it sounds better now, at least. So.
Yeah, Mike Vick is here.
Cody, my man, Cody.
Ammonia Wilder. He says DJ just got sacked again. Yes, Kevin Dogs fan for life. Thank you, sir, for posting that link. Michael Sachs Jr. SEC Dog. He thinks that Clemson is going to open up their offense this weekend. Yeah, well, they better. They're playing South Carolina State. But I agree with you. What's up, Cody Latchney? My brother. Yeah, Cody. Country Tiger, Battle Angel. Yes. All right. Okay. Now that the pity party is over with, it's time to talk a little bit about some of these games last week. We may as well start and get the depression out of the way, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
And I see that you conveniently put those two games first.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I have already pretty much, I uploaded the video yesterday. For anybody who hasn't seen that, you can go watch it. It's about an 18 or 19 minute video where I gave my thoughts on this game. And it's not much different than what pretty much everybody else thinks. Besides the few more, moronic, idiotic trolls who keep telling me that Clemson got curb stomped when they lost by 7 points, and it came down to the very last drive of the game. I think everybody agrees that this was just an old-fashioned defensive game. Neither offense could really get anything going. As bad as DJ played, he still had more passing yards than JT Daniels. So Clemson had more passing yards. Georgia had more running yards. Both the teams turned the ball over.
Right.
The difference was the pick six.
I got a question.
Yes.
So it's clear that in this Georgia-Clemson game, both teams have got work to do on offense. Defenses look, probably two of the best defenses in the country. But, Georgia kind of obviously, once they get healthy, I think they will obviously they'll be much better. I mean, I hate to say that, but, they'll probably get a passing game going down. And, of course, they're always good at running. What about Clemson, though? Are they going to be able to how much is Clemson going to be able to improve their offense? What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be a massive improvement throughout the season. It's mainly the offensive line.
Offensive line. Oh, I know a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
But,
so
DJ gets a little more comfortable maybe. I mean, he's had his work cut out for him, on the road at Notre Dame. I mean, say what you want about Boston College. I mean, I happen to think they're pretty good despite being in the ACC.
Yeah, Country Tiger, I'll get into that in just a second. But to answer your question, Sea-Dog, Clemson's not going to play another defense anywhere close to Georgia's, and Georgia's not going to play any defense in the regular season anywhere close to Clemson's. So that alone will help things out a little bit. Clemson offensive line just needs to gel better. They weren't ready for what was coming at them in that game. That's just all there was to it.
Right.
And the running game, look, I mean, the running game was virtually non-existent for Clemson, but then again, they didn't even really try to run the ball. That was my biggest criticism of them in the game. I mean, it's football 101 is that when you have offensive line issues, you're going to have to establish some kind of running game to take some of the pressure off of the quarterback. And they didn't even try to do that.
Video about you talking about that.
Yeah.
You can't just be one-dimensional.
No.
I would agree. Even if your passing game or your running game isn't stellar, you do have to make them respect it.
Right. That's the point. And I'm not even claiming that Clemson would have had success running the ball, but they should have at least tried. That would have helped DJ out in the passing game, in my opinion. Also, them getting down on the 5-yard line, first and goal from the 5-yard line, and didn't run it once. That really pissed me off. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm not thinking too about not being able to convert in the red zone. It's one of the most frustrating things. Like the basics, you get all the way down to the 5-yard line. You can't score. You can't that and like kicking field goals. And oh god, we haven't got to the Tech game yet though. But
yeah.
That's frustrating.
There was another sort of thing that really hasn't been talked about a whole lot in the Clemson game, at least on Clemson's side of the football. Now we know what some of Georgia's problem was the fact that they were missing like their 4 best offensive weapons. So when they get those back over the next few weeks, that their offense is automatically going to improve a lot by just getting those.
Tyke Smith.
Right. So, but Clemson, their best running back, Lynn J. Dixon, didn't come on the field at all. He dressed out. He was played in the game. He didn't step on the field even once in the first half. He didn't step on the field even once in the third quarter. They put him in for one play in the fourth quarter, and he ran for 10 yards. Now, everybody's telling me Clemson couldn't gain 2 yards the whole game against Georgia. Well, Lynn J. Dixon only carried the ball once, and he had a 10-yard run, and they never gave him the ball back again. This when they were only down by 7 points.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on there. So the rumor is that Lynn J. Dixon was suspended shortly before the game by Dabo Swinney for the first half.
That's right. I heard you say that in your video earlier.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's all private information. They don't release that information. Yeah. But anyway, that was the rumor. I mean, that would be the only thing that makes sense for him not playing the first half. But even if that was true, he should have had at least 5 or 6 carries minimum in the second half. But he only had 1.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on there. But he is the best back on the team. He's the most experienced. He's the senior. And so, he was certainly missed. And if he wasn't missed, he was underutilized.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But I would say, given the rest, both of these teams' schedules, Georgia and Clemson. I mean, you got till Georgia, like you said, will be automatically better. They got till pretty much the SEC championship to get something together on offense, which in the past they have struggled with. It's not a given. All the stars are kind of aligning for Georgia to finally be good on offense, but well, I'm a Tech fan. I know a thing or two about the stars aligning for hopeful improvement, and well, it doesn't always work out like that.
All right, so I don't want to beat a dead horse here with the Clemson thing. I'm just going to give my last thoughts on this. Listen, I actually I was there, obviously. I enjoyed the game. I know people in today's world, they don't like games unless it's 50-40 or something. They want to see touchdowns in every single possession. I enjoyed the old school defensive football. I thought it was really exciting. And I think that these teams are very, very evenly matched. And they may see each other again. I don't see anybody on Clemson's schedule in the regular season. I don't know about the ACC championship. I don't really see anybody on Clemson's schedule in the regular season that's going to really test them. Now, there's a lot that can happen. I mean, you can have some kind of injury or something that can change things. But so I think it's very likely that Clemson goes 11-1 and Georgia goes 12-0 in the regular season. And if that does happen, and they both win, and they both make it into the playoffs, very possible that they can see each other again for a rematch, which would be exciting.
Which would be awesome, because a lot of the time, two teams this good, a lot of the time, the team that lost the first time wins the second time. Maybe I'll be a tater all over again. You know what I mean?
The Crimson Yard, whatever how you say that name, Georgia's offense is awful. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not awful.
They just had injuries. I mean, and the Clemson defense is just that good.
What you just saw there was 2 elite defenses from front to back. That's what you saw.
Clemson isn't going to the playoffs. Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I mean, it's going to
listen, unless they drop another game. But I mean, Clemson's got the reputation where, first of all, I know it's a loss, and some people make jokes about this, but it is a quality loss to a top 5 team. Clemson's going to win out. I don't get how you can say that after watching how bad the ACC was. Clemson's clearly still miles ahead of the entire ACC.
Well, I think first of all, we don't know. I mean, there certainly is still a possibility that they could win out and not make it, but they probably would. A 12-1 ACC champ, Clemson, would probably get in. It's really going to depend on what happens in the Big 12 and the Pac-12, honestly.
That is true. If you have undefeated Oklahoma, undefeated Southern Cal, for example, undefeated Ohio State, then and then whatever SEC champion is getting in.
Easy money. Just turn up the volume on your potato phone, and you'll be able to hear just fine.
A lot of people commenting about that. Are we too quiet? We're two chill dudes. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, let me see here.
We're not hooping and hollering. I done my hooping and hollering already. I don't know how much more I got in that.
All right.
How much more I got in me. You know what I mean?
I turned it up. I mean, I'm pretty much maxed out on volume here. So anyway, okay, that's it for Clemson. Good luck to Georgia the rest of the way. Hopefully we meet again. Till we meet again. Now on to the Georgia Tech and Northern Illinois debacle.
Oh my God!
So explain this to me. Now, obviously, I didn't get to see even 1 minute of this game because it was being played at the same time as Clemson and Georgia. So walk me through the pain and misery of what happened.
Well, how I thought this game, I'm like, this is how my Saturday went. Friday, Thursday even. I'm like sitting here watching all these games, all excited. My team's playing soon. I'm Saturday. I'm like stoked. I'm watching all these good football games. I'm watching upsets all over the place. Had no idea what I was in store for. I'm making like halftime reports for Big Ten for the noon games and stuff. I go and I was expecting to just kind of have the Northern Illinois game on the other TV and peep at us every now and then. I was planning on really just focus on Clemson, Georgia, because I knew it'd be a close game, but and just peek at my how amazing Jeff Sims was going to be throwing for all over these idiots, and I just peek over there and see Jahmyr Gibbs take off, return a freaking kickoff for a touchdown, and see us put 50 points up on this garbage team, but quickly my expectations were dashed as the Northern Illinois Huskies go up 14-0 on us because Jeff Sims comes out. Looks like he's made zero progress from last year. It looks like he's regressed. His running game, amazing. Jeff Sims is basically a running back. Passing, I mean, if you want to put blame, obviously it's the coaching, but if you want to put blame on whatever in-game happened, it was definitely him missing several wide open passes that could have been, like big passes that could have been touchdowns, and we get the momentum. But Northern Illinois, our defense gave up. The defense baffles me. How last time I checked, triple option, transitioning from the triple option doesn't have anything to do with defense. I don't know why it's still so bad 3 years later, and supposedly Jeff Collins is a defensive mind. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on here, man. The offensive line looked awful. Jahmyr Gibbs still looked great. Jeff Sims could run. He looked the same as last year. He can run, but he can't complete a pass. And then the offensive line has made zero progress as well. And we have Brent Key. He coached the offensive line for Alabama in 2017 on their national title team, and he chose to come back to Georgia Tech because it's his alma mater and he wanted us to be good again. He's our offensive line coach. I believed in him, and he has 3 transfers in the offseason onto the offensive line, plus some recruits, that 2 of them from the SEC. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to be automatically better on the offensive line. We got a great coach. No, our quarterback, whichever one it was, which, by the way, Jeff Sims got hurt early second quarter. Whatever quarterback was in was running for their lives. I mean, it was just pitiful. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, they handed off to him. He can only do so much. And he did great with what he was given. He was given crap. I posted a short video earlier today of Jahmyr Gibbs' run. He was handed the ball, and already his hole was closed by a Northern Illinois defender. He quickly turns around and goes the other way, jukes a dude, stiff arms another dude, and gets 10 yards.
And then steps out of bounds, right?
Right, and he steps out of bounds. And that's what he has to do. It's so with the offensive line, like if they could just give him something to work with. He has to put in so much effort just to get 10 yards, and he looked like that against Clemson too. he's got the talent. He's got the tools. If you just block for him, he can make some amazing things happen. And
let me ask you a question. This is Jeff Collins' third season?
Third season.
All
And
right.
he can't beat the freaking worst MAC team.
I understand. This is a game that Georgia Tech has no business losing, even no matter what year it is for Jeff Collins. I'm with you there. But how much of you were talking about the offensive line? How much of this triple option offensive line is still left over from when he took over? Do you know? I mean, or is it all new?
It's dude, it's got to be all new. Okay, so we have Mikey Minahan. He's new. I think we got that transfer from Tennessee. He's new. Dude, it's like I honestly, the depth chart, they keep it a secret until the game, and I haven't looked at it, but it's basically all new. I mean, it's an all new line. It's I mean, we brought in basically an entire line over the offseason between recruits and transfers.
Yeah.
Plus, we had one or two guys on the roster already that were that had transferred the year before. So yeah, it's an all new line, and I don't get why it's still bad. I don't get it. It can't be explained. All new line. It can't be explained.
Yeah, I mean, really no reason to lose to Northern Illinois, but first game of the year, I wouldn't be ready to jump off the bridge yet. We've seen.
I'm jumped off the bridge.
I know. I know.
I am. This is so bad for our program. It's not even funny. I was saying all offseason, this is an important year for Jeff Collins because the way it's shaping up, this 2022 recruiting class is going to be the best in school history, which he's already had when he first came in his first year.
So your worry is that they're going to lose some of those recruits because of this one game.
Oh, well, it's not just this one game. This is our easiest game. If we can't beat Northern Illinois, who can we beat? Duke? I'm not even confident about the Kennesaw State game next year or next week. They run the triple option, and Jeff Collins, there's clearly no progress from last year. Jeff Collins loses to the Citadel in his first year, which is an FCS team that runs the triple option. How can I be confident we come into this Kennesaw State game and win? It's going to be, they're an in-state team. It's going to be like their Super Bowl. They're well coached. The coach there was under Paul Johnson, and Paul Johnson, sent him up the road to Kennesaw State, helped him out, and he pretty much built this team from nothing. Kennesaw State's a program, a winning program that with a drive and passion to win. Our team looked half asleep. We'll lose that game too. What a fool I was all offseason to talk about how much improved we were going to be. I mean, I don't want to pile on here, but what the irony that Georgia Tech might struggle against the triple option team next week. The irony, yeah, and well, it's already happened. Year one of Jeff Collins transitioning away from the triple option, he loses to an FCS Citadel team that runs the triple options, and we're gonna come in here 2 years later, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, man. I'm so demoralized, hurt, heartbroken. The disaster that this spells for my Jackets is it's just not good. This was such an important year. I feel like college football as a whole, with this realignment and everything, is it's heading in such a direction that the crappy teams are going to get left behind. And
you think the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer.
Yep, we're a crappy team. So, I don't know, man. I'm embarrassed, ashamed, destroyed. I don't know.
You still got some games left on the schedule that could to redeem yourself, though.
I mean, we'll have never not lost to Northern Illinois, so I don't know.
Okay.
I was so hysterical Friday night, which, by the way, the reaction video at the end is like my most popular video. I'd rather 12 people watch me laugh at the bad team that we blew out, but I had Georgia fans in my comments tell me that they felt bad for me. Georgia, the team I've spent the entire offseason terrorizing them, telling them how bad they suck. Just absolutely being just tearing them up. They felt bad for me. I don't know if that says something.
It does say something. As far as YouTube goes, misery loves company. So, yeah, I mean, losing games to bad teams, stuff like that, yeah, it definitely drives the viewership up. People love to see people in agony. There's some sick, twisted people
like,
out there.
You suck. But I'm absolutely devastated over here. And they get to laugh at me. They were right. I mean, I was a fool. We were... it makes me think to last week on this very show, we were talking about how Georgia Tech was favored by 18.5, and we both took Georgia Tech. What a fool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry to all the people I tricked, all the people in the off season that wasted their time watching me talk about how much improved Georgia Tech was going to be. Look out for Georgia Tech. That's all.
It happens every single year, though. A game like that, week one, a heavy favorite to a lower classification team loses. It happens every single season.
It happened a lot this week.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we came into this year on the assumption that Georgia Tech was going to be improved, you know? And you can call us a higher classification team. We're just not. We've won 3 games 2 years in a row. And I came into this assuming that we would be about a 6-win team or so, and this just means that we're not. We're bad. We're bad. We're going to be bad for a long time. We can't afford to fire Collins.
Yeah.
Well, sorry about the pity party, but
all right. I think I'm starting to feel bad for you now. Let's move on. Let's move on to a surprising game of the week. There was a lot of surprising games in the ACC, really. Probably half of them didn't go the way most people thought they were going to go. But so we had this discussion about Notre Dame and Florida State last week. I said I didn't think that Florida State had a chance. You said that you thought that Florida State did have a chance to beat Notre Dame, and you were right.
Yeah, one of the few things I was right about. I knew that this would be, because I was low on Notre Dame and high on Florida State. I said that this would at least be a good game, and it was.
It was one of the most exciting games of the weekend. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it because it was the night after, and I was just too upset. I clicked on it for a minute and saw them throwing passes, and it just made me, and scoring touchdowns just made me mad. I was like, I feel like because I've been saying, I'm a college football fan, everything, and I enjoy watching the other games, but now I feel like I'm on the outside looking in, like everybody else is having fun, and I'm over here like.
Well, it was I watched the entire game. It was an exciting game. Real quick, shout out to LW. Thank you for the super chat, sir. He says Sunday morning root beer fund. So that's for you, Sea Dog. But
thank you, man.
If there's one thing I took out of this game, it would have been cool to see Florida State pull off the upset, and they almost did pull it off.
It was. But I don't like Notre Dame. I wish Florida State would have beat them. I know that you don't like Florida State, do you?
I hate Florida State, but but just in the interest of the ACC, I'd like to see them be better.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I want them to be better, just not better than Clemson type thing, because they're not only conference rivals, they're division rivals. So right. That's a big deal for the ACC. But anyway, if you're a Florida State fan, you've got to be ecstatic. Now, I don't know if this was just a one-off thing. They got up for this big game all off season, and now the air is going to be out of the sails, and they go back to being bad again. I don't think that's the case. From what I saw, you've got to be extremely happy about the way that this team looks and the way that they played together. I haven't seen them play with that much emotion in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it seems like the Florida State of old. Yeah, and I think Norvell's the real deal.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, he's clearly changed the culture there, which is what needed to be done before you made any, X's and O's changes.
Yeah.
Now they still have some deficiencies. I mean, the offensive line is still not great, but it's miles better than it was. Offensively, Norvell definitely has made a huge difference there. And also the other good story was the Mackenzie Milton thing. I'm sure you heard about this.
Oh yeah, I heard he came in and looked pretty good too.
Yeah, so it was sort of a fluke. What's the other quarterback's name? I already forgot his name. Jordan something.
David? No, that's the Georgia offensive.
Anyway, whatever his name was, he was sort of up and down. He had some really good plays, and
Travis. Travis. Yeah, Travis.
Anyway, he was up and down throughout the game. He had some great plays, and he would make a bonehead play. Great play, bonehead play. It was like a roller coaster, right? Anyway, in the second half, in the fourth quarter, actually, he gets hit on one of the plays, and his helmet comes off. So he has to, you have to sit out a play when your helmet comes off. So they trounce out Mackenzie Milton out there, and he immediately gets a first down, and the clock's running, and so they keep him in because he's got a hot hand, and he drives them all the way down the field. And so it might be by a stroke of luck that Mackenzie Milton's going to take over that starting spot, because I'm going to be honest with you, man, I don't think if that guy's helmet popped off or didn't pop off, I don't think they would have put Mackenzie Milton in that game at all. Mm-hmm. And he got some fire out of the crowd, right? And the whole, it was like a Disney movie, basically.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet.
It was like Rudy reincarnated, right? I mean, if they would have came back and
talk about Rudy.
If they would have came back and won that game, they would have made a movie about it, just like they did Rudy.
Right.
But anyway, I would be at least optimistic if I was a Florida State fan. And on the flip side of that, if you're a Notre Dame fan, I don't know what you think, because honestly, Florida State's offense was running all over. I mean, that defense did not look good. So that's what I took out of it. It's really hard to tell exactly if Notre Dame played bad or if Florida State played great, or if it was a combination of the two. I think it was a combination of the two.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking for this game. And is in Tallahassee, Bobby Bowden, and I kind of thought that's what I was thinking was my reasoning. OT too, it went into, which is cool. I always like a good OT game, but I don't know. I was just I wish I could speak more about it, but I didn't watch it. So.
Well, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Florida State this season, because clearly, Clemson plays them later in the season, and there has the chance to be. The last three seasons, it's just been. It's been a snooze fest. I mean, Clemson's just had their way with them. I mean, they beat them epically bad. What was it, 2 years ago? They beat them, 77-6 or something? I don't know. It was terrible.
Oh, how embarrassing. How would you lose to a team by that much? I don't even know how that happens.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see.
Lose 77 to...
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But anyway, congratulations to Notre Dame that came out on top despite the adversity that they faced on the road there in Tallahassee. Moving on, NC State. Shout out to NC State, 45-0 against the University of South Florida. Now, you have to take this with a grain of salt, and I called this last week. I said that NC State can score as many points as they want, and that South Florida would be lucky to score at all, and I pretty much nailed it, 45-0.
Yep.
So South Florida is awful. But NC State did what you have to do against an awful team and just obliterated them.
This is what better teams. This is what teams are supposed to do. When they go against an inferior opponent, especially one that hasn't won a single game, and this is what you're supposed to do. NC State, good. I applaud NC State for being able to handle business against the South Florida Bulls. I sure wish I was in that boat too. Yeah.
And I'm still holding my reservations about NC State, because I feel like every single season we hear that this year NC State's going to be really good, and then they just aren't. So I think it's still a little bit too early to be crowning them the second best team in the Atlantic Division or anything. But They looked good. They looked good.
College did the same thing. But yeah, and it's hard to tell, obviously, what this means for their next matchup, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I mean,
yeah, NC State 45-0.
What you could tell from this game is that they're not a joke program that loses to an inferior opponent week 1. So good for them. And
they are like one of these weird teams, at least under Dave Dorian, there's one of these weird teams that's really good every 3 or 4 years. And so they're about due. It's been about 3 or 4 years since they were really good. I was high.
I think I was high on NC State. I think they'll be battling it out with Boston College for second best in the Atlantic.
Yeah,
with the potential to maybe have a good game against Clemson or something like that. They do get you at home, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, so that could be interesting.
Yeah.
When is that game? Is that earlier on in the year or later?
That's a good question. I don't have Clemson's schedule pulled up.
Okay.
I don't remember.
You'll probably have it figured out by then. You'll probably handle it no problem.
I think it's right in the middle of the season. I want to say it's in October.
Yeah, so. NC State, well, at least their passing defense is, well, we'll talk about this, soon against Mississippi State. I think it's kind of a mismatch, but mismatch against Clemson too, because Clemson's obviously stronger in the passing game. I think you'll be all right against them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sweat it too much.
I hope they're undefeated when we play them, just for the thrill factor of it. But other than that, I hope Dave Dorian steps on Legos before he goes to bed tonight.
That's right. We did talk about that a little bit last week.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Your disdain of him.
I do not like him at all. No. But anyway, it looks like he has a pretty good squad this year. So,
yeah.
All right, and another team, the next one, Boston College against the Toothpaste School. They did the same thing that NC State did, 51-0 against the Toothpaste. And people were laughing at me. And look, they played against Colgate. I'm not going to crown them champions of the world or anything. I get it. But they beat them 51-0. They did what they were supposed to do. But people laughed at me all off season because I think that Boston College is going to have a really good team this year. Mm-hmm. And I still feel that way. It's hard to tell.
How is that a hot take? I mean, they were pretty good last year, you know
know what it is? I don't know what it is. I think it's the fact that it's Boston College and people have a hard time looking past a logo and thinking that team can be good.
Well, look at UCLA. You
know
what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's college football. Teams get better. You get a good coach and hire some good recruits in there. You can put together a freaking good football team. Yeah, that's what Boston College is doing.
They got a second-year head coach, the former coordinator for Ohio State. They've got a really good quarterback in Phil Jerkovich. They've got one of the best running backs in the ACC. They got a couple of elite receivers. Their defensive line's really good. I mean, they're really a solid team. They don't really have any, maybe their secondary's a little bit weak. I don't know. But offensive line in the trenches, they're solid. They're always a pretty solid defensive team. It's just their problem over the years has really just been they haven't had a very dynamic offense, but they've changed that over the past couple of years. They've sort of gotten with the times. They're throwing the ball around a lot more now than they used to. So I don't know, man. I'm optimistic about Boston College being a good team this year. We'll see if I'm right.
Yeah, they're promising. I got to friggin' play them. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
What's up? BVD's in the chat.
BVD, my man. Boner.
He says, Boner, 2 great guys here. Love you all.
Boner to you, BVD. It's
what is it?
See, man.
Is that some kind of new greeting? What's going on here with the boner thing?
That's BVD's greeting. Me and him were talking about this. It came about when I went to go see him in Gatlinburg a few months ago, and he was like, we were talking about how everybody kind of had their thing that they say when they come into a comment section. Like I say, hey, everybody, or Lou says no, or Chess Hall says here, or Traveling Fool says yo, 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 yo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So BVD's like, I need one. And he says, well, how about boner?
Yeah, of all the things.
I'm like, that's the best one yet.
All right, well, I'll remember that. I'm glad you explained it. I was starting to get a little bit worried, but a boner back to you, BBD. I'm glad you're doing okay, buddy.
Boner, man.
Anyway, BBD said he was going to be going live here tonight. So
okay, I'll be sure to tune into that.
BVD, we normally end the show at 9. We usually go from 7 to 9, but we can wrap it up 30 minutes early tonight if you want us to, so you can go on. That's fine.
Yeah, let us know.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Boston College, not much to say. They beat the ever-living. They beat the toothpaste out of the tube. That's what they did.
Yep. Same with Wake Forest, Old Dominion too.
Yeah. So we'll fly right through these because we still have to talk about it next week. Wake Forest. What was the final score of that game?
It was like 40-something to 6.
Wake Forest. Yeah, 42 to 10.
Okay, 10.
Against Odia. I didn't see any of this game, so I really can't give any sort of commentary on it. Other than
I watched a little bit of it.
You did?
Yeah. Wake Forest pretty much. They got business done basically offensively. Held them to like a field goal or something. I think they scored late, probably when the Wake Forest like 4-string defense was in or something like that. So, what can I say? They're a team that's coached well and they do what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So,
I don't really have any high expectations for Wake Forest this year, but
they'll be a bowl game, maybe 6 or 7 wins or something.
Yeah, and that's about what you can expect
right.
for them. Yeah, that's about right.
I actually picked them to upset UNC. I didn't think it would be Virginia Tech. I thought it'd be Wake Forest just because of where it is on the schedule. But I think they get UNC like right after UNC has to play Notre Dame or something like that, and they get like a bye week before it. So I had picked them to upset, but
So,
yeah.
Aside from this matchup, because there's not much to talk about as far as the matchup, but Wake Forest, how much longer do you give Dave Clawson before he goes to a better school?
That's a good question. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe just likes to. Maybe he's just as happy where he's at. I don't know. How long's he been there now?
He's 5 years.
5 years?
At least 5 years. I don't know.
Hang around for 5 years, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
This might be year 5. I don't know exactly, but he's been there for at least 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Right.
And he's done well there, and he's developed some. He's put some guys in the NFL. Offensively, he's had some really good teams. Based on the talent that they have.
Yeah.
So, I
get it.
Anyway, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe he's just waiting for the right offer. You don't want to make a lateral move. You want to make a move up. Maybe he's just waiting on the.
Yeah, I was saying like teams that are bad should pick him up, but why would he go to a bad team? Kind of like James Franklin, how he was pretty good at Vandy and then exploded. I don't know. I think somebody should have picked him up already, but I don't know. I'd take him. I'd love him. I'd freaking love him.
I love him too. As for a school, and we're going to get to these guys next in a minute, after the Duke terrible Dookie team. But the Louisville would, a couple of years ago when they went and got Satterfield, Clawson would be the one I really went after.
Right.
But
he just does well with little talent, and that's impressive to me. I put a lot of stock into that.
Yeah. And Louisville can recruit better than Wake Forest, just off of their name alone.
Right.
And of course, I think their university, it has a higher commitment to football than Wake Forest does, the whole thing.
Yep.
All right.
Wake Forest found them a gym, that's for sure.
Yeah. Moving on to Duke and who was it? Charlotte. Yes.
And it was a road game for Duke for some reason.
Was it you? Did you say that I can't remember if it was you or Uncle Lou on the Lunch Money Show. We were talking about this and saying that somebody said that Charlotte might actually win this game. Was that you? That was you.
Did.
Okay. Well, you were right.
Yep. I said that, and I said Syracuse too, but nope, Syracuse handled business. But unfortunately for the Duke Blue Devil, what do you do with Cutcliffe at this point, man? Do you build him a statue and have him retire? I don't know.
T2Y wants to know, Clemson, what happened? I don't know. They lost by 7 points. What happened to Miami? Can you explain that? I thought that Miami was going to actually be able to cover the 19-point spread. Man, was I stupid.
I didn't.
Man, was I stupid.
I'm one to laugh at anybody though. So go ahead.
Anyway, what's up, T2Y? How you doing, buddy? Anyway, so not much to say here. You were right, man. I thought that I knew Duke was not going to be good this year, but I didn't think they were going to be as bad as that. I mean,
yeah, I picked them to cover, but I mean, because I mean that's what you do. But this is Charlotte's first Power 5 win ever, and they've only been to like one bowl game ever, like last year, and they lost badly. So this is the kind of caliber team that Duke's losing to. I can't imagine losing to a team such as Charlotte. I wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, shout out to D4 in the comment section. Says, great show, guys. I'm not an ACC guy, but I respect you two fuckers. Well,
Nice.
Thank you. We know you're not an ACC guy. You are now an SEC guy, which makes you our mortal enemy, but we appreciate your support, D4.
Yeah. That's funny.
I wonder if he's got that SEC chant down yet.
I don't think so. He was pulling against the corn dog or something, or he picked against the corn dog, and then...
Well, they're natural.
Like, I was making fun of him last week because he was picking against the SEC, and I was like, "You're not being a very good homer."
Yeah.
But hell, he was right, dude. UCLA. I mean, I know it's not the ACC, but damn, that was crazy.
Yeah, I was wrong about them. That's another thing I was wrong about. I was wrong about a lot last week. I'm not going to lie.
You know, I covered the Pac-12 on D4's show.
Yeah.
And I was super high on UCLA. I didn't think that they'd beat LSU, but by God, I was right about UCLA. One of the few things I was right about.
Yeah.
So.
All right, moving on from Duke.
Yes.
Louisville and Ole Miss. Man, oh man.
You'll have to speak on this one because, again, I didn't watch it. I was looking forward to it in the offseason.
There's not much to say. I mean, Ole Miss looked like Alabama out there, and that wasn't because Ole Miss is Alabama. It's because Louisville was terrible.
Honestly,
they couldn't do anything.
What I expected. Louisville wasn't very good last year, and Ole Miss was. I mean, Ole Miss was. I mean, their offense. I mean, they're just a tough SEC West team. I mean, they're inconsistent, yeah, but you know they got Matt Corral promising. They got Lane Kiffin. Even without Lane Kiffin, man, I thought that might hurt them some, but no. The final score, I didn't watch the game because I was too sad, but the final score is about what I expected, 40-something to 20-something. Was it?
No. Let's see. What was it?
Yeah, it was like 23.
It was 43 to 20, 43 to 24.
Yeah.
And I think, I know some of those points for Louisville were scored late because it was really bad all the way up till the end, and I scored a couple of late touchdowns.
I do remember tuning in, and Louisville was getting shut out around halftime or something like that. So that's unfortunate. So they were just scoring on Ole Miss fourth string defense, was it? Yeah.
So I mean, basically, we knew Ole Miss was going to score a lot of points because their offense just does that. But right. I mean, even then, Louisville they couldn't stop them on any possession. It seemed like Ole Miss scored a touchdown on every possession, and offensively is what the problem. What really surprised me with Louisville, Malik Cunningham, high expectations coming in from him. Yeah, he couldn't complete a pass. I think most of his. I think at one point he was the leading passer, rusher, and receiver.
Holy shit!
In the game.
Receiver?
Yeah, because I think they did some kind of crazy thing where he was, he caught a pass.
No.
So
kidding.
there was somewhere in the game, at some point in the game, he was the leading rusher, passer, and receiver.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
So I mean, offensively they had nothing, and again they couldn't stop. I mean, Ole Miss they had Ole Miss's defense out there looking like they were Georgia or Clemson or something. It was crazy.
Well, I mean, I kind of expected this, a bad ACC team versus a pretty good SEC team. I mean, it's just a bad, it's not a good matchup. This is the kind of matchup you would like to see the ACC win. Just, make us look good, but I saw this coming.
Yeah.
What I didn't see coming, though.
What?
This next game?
Oh, Virginia and William and Mary? We didn't see that coming?
No.
Oh, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. I'm sorry, I skipped one.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
No, man. William Mary looking good this year, dude. I thought they really had a chance. No.
No, I'm with you on that. I picked North Carolina to win the game. I mean, they were top ranked number 10. Virginia Tech was unranked. I had all but given up on Justin Fuente.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. What a fool.
And this game is confusing to me. I mean, Sam Howell looked completely lost.
Okay, so honestly, a lot of people were blaming Sam Howell, and I was talking about this a little bit. I'm not so sure. He scrambled pretty well. I mean, when he had to, he's not, the most. I mean, he's no Jeff Sims, but I mean, he got the job done as far as what he needed to do for a couple times in the game, and then it seemed like it was the receivers. I think I was leaning more towards the receivers because he did, when his receivers were open, he hit them. So I'm not so sure. A lot of people are blaming Sam Howell. He's definitely scratched off the Heisman list. That's for dang true.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. I wasn't super quick to jump on him and blaming him for this loss. So, I see depressed Tar Heel Luke in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know this is a tough loss, but I mean, it's Virginia Tech. They have a pretty good home advantage. Blacksburg's a hard place to play, and clearly they're not as bad as me and Pete were saying that they would be. And this doesn't. I don't think this takes away. It doesn't take away your coaching. It doesn't take away. Sam Howell's still a great quarterback. I'm sure he'll get it together. I'm sure they'll have to. They got some pieces to figure out on offense. But I don't think this spells disaster for North Carolina. I just think it means Virginia Tech's pretty good, and it's one of those first week upsets.
I think the North Carolina will get it figured out. They clearly are missing those 2-star running backs they had last year that are gone.
Yep.
I mean, those guys were really good, and they couldn't run the ball at all in this game. And we'll see what happens with Virginia Tech. I mean, I'm still hesitant just because of the past few years where I've been hyping them up and they've let me down.
Yeah. God, I picked us to beat them too.
It's just one of those situations where you remember, what was it? It was either 2 or 3 years ago. In the opening game, I think they played against, I can't remember who they played against. It was a top 15 matchup. It might have been Florida State or something.
Yeah. And
they beat the bejesus out of them. And everyone was like, oh, look, Virginia Tech. And then they just laid an egg the rest of the year. Yeah. And so I don't know if this is one of those situations. I just need to see Virginia Tech be consistent for at least one season before.
Yeah. Typical ACC shenanigans here. Yeah. Virginia Tech will probably, I mean, North Carolina lost to Florida State last year, which was awful. I mean, North Carolina, very talented and well coached, but just inconsistent, and that it might be a case of that. I will say the Virginia Tech. Well, I mentioned the North Carolina receivers, but the DBs. I mean, they were on them like white on rice. So I don't know if it was the Virginia Tech defense that was good. I mean, the Sam Howell had all kinds of pressure on him. The Virginia Tech D line. I rambled for a while. What do you think about? Do you place this on Sam Howell? What do you think?
No, I'm going to give the credit to Virginia Tech. I mean, I think that they just they had a better game plan, and Sam Howell didn't have a whole lot of options. So I'm not going to put it all. I mean, this is sort of the same situation like with DJ. Like everyone's blaming DJ. He didn't have a great game, but the guy didn't forget how to play football overnight. Okay. Sam Howell is still going to be a first-round pick in the NFL. He's probably going to still have a great season this year. They just they got out-schemed and out-coached in this game, and they just weren't prepared for what they were looking at. So
talk about another defensive game. This was like 16-10 or something like that. Yeah. I think the Virginia Tech defense might just be pretty good.
17-10. Yeah.
Yeah, that might just be what it is.
So anyway, congratulations to the Hokies. Let's see if they're for real or not. And again, I think that North Carolina is going to be just fine. We'll see. All right, moving on to Virginia and the School for the Deaf and Blind, William and Mary.
So these next 3 games here in a row. All games where a team, they did what they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Handle business. I was talking a little bit. I was kind of considering Syracuse in the same category as Duke that might actually lose Ohio. I mean, I know Ohio's terrible, but they got it done and wound up. I'm not sure what the spread was. I'm sure they covered. They won by 20 or so points.
Who, Virginia?
Syracuse.
Oh yeah, Syracuse won 29-9, so they won by 20. They were only favored by 2.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. So they covered
good for the fruit.
Yeah, good for the fruit.
Good for the fruit.
43-0. Virginia won. So I mean, again,
do you want to talk about the Virginia and William and Mary?
Well, no, there's nothing to talk about it there. 43-0 is what you have to do against a team like that. That I didn't even know William and Mary had a football team until last week.
Virginia finds these teams and just absolutely destroys them every time. I remember I always watch these Virginia games because it's just funny because they always just destroy these random FCS teams I never heard of. So good for Virginia. I'm looking for a team to adopt me. Maybe I'll be a Wahoo.
Yeah, I thought you were an Alabama fan. Now we'll get to that.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, last but not least, as far as the trash games, Pitt ran all over UMass 51-7, which is not surprising, and that's again another.
I'm surprised UMass managed to score on them. It must have been at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But UMass, I mean, you pretty much can't get any worse than UMass.
All right.
Besides Georgia Tech.
Alabama and Miami. Man, oh, man.
One of the few things I was right about.
I'm not surprised Alabama won. I'm just surprised that it looked like Miami looked like they had never seen a football before.
I mean, I pretty much was saying this before. I mean, Miami last year, I know they had a lot come back or whatever. They got destroyed by Oklahoma State in their bowl game. They got destroyed by North Carolina. I know it's last year, but I mean, they just haven't. They're not close to being elite. They're not even close. Their goal this year should be to not, have a terrible season.
Damn, that's a hell of an expectation, not to have a terrible season, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Miami has been doing over the past decade. I mean, they have a decent season where they look pretty good, and then the next season they have a terrible season.
Yeah. Well.
So,
I mean, I thought I didn't think that they would be able to shut down Alabama's offense, but I thought they would have been able to hold them to less than 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I thought is that Derek King would give Alabama's defense at least a little bit of trouble, and he didn't.
Right. He definitely carries that team.
Yeah.
They better hope he stays healthy because he is exciting to watch and everything, but Alabama's just too good. We all knew their defense would be good. And I was a little questionable on their offense. Silly me. I did a top 25. I had Alabama ranked 4th, but out of all of the teams this year, they look the most complete. I mean, even Oklahoma gave up, 35 to Tulane?
Yeah.
I would put Alabama as number 1 team. Silly me. I went against the grain and underrated Alabama. Silly me. I mean, roll Tide.
I mean, I should have known better. I mean, I tried to be logical about this and say, even though I know Alabama reloads and I know Nick Saban is Nick Saban, I just thought that Miami could have at least kept it interesting for at least the first half, and man, was I wrong. And I should have known better. I mean, Alabama and Ohio State are 2 teams that almost always cover against the spread.
Yep.
And I let myself get away from that logic, but you're right though. I think Alabama does look like the most complete team after week 1. I don't want to overreact.
Dude, Bryce Young. Well, I mean, the way that they just manhandled them, and it's not like Miami's a terrible team. It's the way that Alabama came out and pushed them around, had their way with them.
But are we sure that Miami's not a terrible team? I'm not so sure they aren't. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is okay. It is possible. I mean, we'll find out next week. They play App State, which we can talk about. We'll talk about soon here. But, I mean, I don't think they're terrible. I had them at 8-4. It's just that I didn't think that they go to win the Coastal and everything. I just think this year they need to focus on not, stepping backwards. But it's true. They might be continuing the trend and being terrible. But, I figured they'd be about the same as last year.
Okay, so that's going to wrap up. It's about 8:20, so we got about 40 minutes left. That's going to wrap up last week's games, and I think we both can agree here that the ACC did not have a good week overall. I mean, most of the games where the ACC teams played against other Power 5 teams, the ACC lost. Yep. Most of them, unless they played against each other.
5 teams.
And then when they played against the school, the deaf and blind and the toothpaste school, they blew them out like they were supposed to, which is good. But we really didn't learn anything from those games. So there's a handful of teams out there that really might be good that we don't know yet because they haven't played anybody to make a comparison with.
But we'll find out quick because some of these week 2 matchups we'll find out.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's look at what did I do with them? Right here. Week 2. Hey, real quick, if you can hold the show or read the chat or something for about 30 seconds, I got to go pee. Be right back.
Okay. Hey, it's understandable. We got a 2-hour show. I'll run through it. We don't even need to waste time. I can run through this quick. Duke loses to A&T. Virginia beats Illinois. Florida State beats Jacksonville. Pitt loses to Tennessee in embarrassing fashion. Georgia Tech, however, also loses to Kennesaw State in embarrassing fashion. Wake Forest blows out Norfolk 100-0. NC State loses. Clemson loses. Syracuse loses. Well, no, they tie this game 0-0. Louisville. What is that? Eastern Kentucky. They lose that game. Georgia State upsets North Carolina. App State definitely beating down Miami. Virginia Tech, after upsetting a top 10 team, turns around and loses to Middle Tennessee State. And UMass still loses to Boston College. That's my official. I mean, I just pretty much just ran through the entire show. We don't need to. We don't even need to do it anymore. Pete will be happy to hear that when he gets back. Sea-Dog, you're starting to lose it. I'm not going to allow you to have us lose to Kennesaw State. It is true. I am starting to lose it. It's very true. How can I be confident that we'll talk about it. What's up with everybody in the comments? John Kelly, what's up?
All right, I'm back.
L-Dub, what's up? Oh. I ran through every single one of these games already. There's really no need.
Okay, great. We can end the show then. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
You know what? There's really not we're sort of still in the same situations we were last week. There's not a whole lot of great games here.
I don't know. There's some interesting stuff here.
So, I don't even know who is that Duke's playing? I don't even know who that is.
Okay, that's North Carolina A&T.
Okay.
And they're going to lose to them.
Wow. I believe you now because after your prediction last week against Charlotte, you were right about that. So I'm gonna.
Okay, if there's anything that you should take away from last week's predictions, that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, you got the Duke one right.
Well, Duke will win. I mean, it's an FCS. I mean, have you ever heard of North Carolina A&T before?
I have heard of that. Yeah, I didn't. I've heard.
You're a Carolina guy.
Yeah, I've heard of the school, but not. I don't know anything about the football team whatsoever. But
I mean, I'm sure they're god awful. They played this week. I don't know if they won or not. But probably not. I mean, Duke will win. I mean, they're not that bad. I mean, they lost by a little bit to Charlotte.
They're pretty bad, man.
Oh, Baylor man says North Carolina A&T is one of the top teams in the MEAC. So better watch out.
Yeah.
Duke might lose again. Oh man.
Yeah. Some people are saying they're pretty good for their, for their conference or whatever. Yeah.
I'm one to be laughing because Tech is in a similar situation. We play one of the best teams. They're like a top 15 FCS team, and they're on the option, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So Virginia and Illinois. Now, this one is actually interesting. I'm picking Virginia to win this game.
Yeah,
But
this one, honestly, is kind of less interesting now because Illinois just lost to UTSA.
yeah,
It would have been kind of cool if they were 2-0 going into this game, and then you're kind of like, ooh, because they did take down Nebraska week 0. But
hey, we'll learn a little bit more about Virginia in this game. I think that Virginia should win this game pretty easily. And if they don't, then that's something to be worried about if you're a Virginia fan, because, I mean, we didn't learn anything about who they played last week.
So this is, as far as ACC goes, this is one we really need for the ACC. It's a mid-tier ACC team versus a bad Big Ten team. We gotta win this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But I think that what happened with Illinois last week tells us more about Nebraska than anything else. Did you already say that? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So
mention that they did take down Nebraska, but they beat them last year too, didn't they? I mean, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska's. Don't they play Oklahoma soon? God,
that's gonna be a bloodbath.
That'll be a bloodbath.
No. Anyway, so give me Virginia by, I don't know what the spread on this is.
2 touchdowns.
I think I do.
They're probably favored by 2 touchdowns. That's my guess. But
I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah, 10 points. I'm looking at.
Are you looking at it now?
I'm looking at the
10
betting
points.
website, which shall not be named.
Yes, I'm looking at it too. Yeah, so 10 points. Give me Virginia to cover.
Me too. Yeah.
I think they'll win by at least 2, maybe 3 touchdowns.
Oh, do you want to go ahead and look up the other ones too while we're at it? Because
what?
Like, you want to go through the betting lines now?
Can.
Yeah. What was the Duke one? It can't be much. I mean, if they're going up against a pretty good SES team and they just lost to Charlotte,
it's probably going to be on other. That's the thing. That's a game that nobody cares about. So
yeah, I'm scrolling pretty far here.
It's not going to be on that main page.
That's fine. I mean, it's really not a big deal if we. Anyway. The people are chomping at the bit to figure out what we think about the spread of Duke versus North Carolina A&T.
Right.
We can move on.
All right. Florida State and Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Yes, and which I learned are not the same as Deion Sanders is. That's Jackson State.
Yes, and Jacksonville State is not in Florida; it's in Alabama.
Right. I can't keep up with that kind of crap, but I got lit up in the comments one time because I said it was like my Florida State prediction or something, and they were like, that's Jackson State. I'm like,
so Jacksonville State's quarterback is a former Clemson backup quarterback, Zarek Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess maybe it's because of his extra year of eligibility. I don't know. This seems like this guy's been playing college football for 10 years. Because I know he got redshirted at Clemson. Then he transferred, and I feel like he's been at Jacksonville State for at least 3 years. I don't know. He might be one of those super senior 6th year people.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I mean, I look for the spread. I can't find it. I mean, I give me Florida State, I guess. I mean, they look great. I think Florida State will be a good team this year. I'm a believer.
Christopher says that someone said Florida State will lose to Jacksonville State. Florida State wins by 24. Yeah, that's. Florida State wins this easily.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't Jacksonville State lose to a bad team last week? They're 0-1.
What the hell is worse than Jacksonville State? I mean, we're talking about. How about? I mean, there were some embarrassing losses this past week. Like, besides, I'm on the top, but there were some bad ones. Yeah, there seems to be some confusion in the chat section about Jackson and Jacksonville State still. I thought we cleared that up. The Deion Sanders. We totally cleared that. Yeah, the Deion Sanders is not Jacksonville State, it's Jackson State. Yeah, Jackson State. Yeah. So, anyway. Oh, boy. We're really putting a lot of talking about the Jackson states of the world. Anyway, to make a long story short, Florida State wins without a problem. Yeah, blowout
blowout victory.
Yeah.
This game is in Tallahassee, I believe.
I don't see how anybody, even how bad Florida State was last year, I don't see how anybody can, after seeing what happened last week, I don't see how anybody could think Florida State loses or even doesn't cover, for that matter. I'm not sure what the spread is, though, so I don't know. But do you want to talk about this here next matchup, man?
This is the game of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of interesting. Well, there's at least one more good one. The North Carolina State and Mississippi State's interesting. But Pittsburgh and Tennessee.
So would I be in trouble here? We're ACC guys. We're on an ACC show. Would I be in trouble here if I said I hope Tennessee beats Pitt?
No, that's fine because I know how much you hate Pitt.
I hate Pitt, dude.
Yeah,
I hate them, and I do have a soft spot for Tennessee. My wife's whole family's Tennessee fans, and poor people. But.
I put this in the same category as the Virginia and Illinois game. I feel like the ACC needs to win these out-of-conference games, even if it's against bad teams in other conferences. Just for perception purposes alone.
I think Pitt will win, though. As much as I don't want them to, I think they will. Pitt, obviously handled business last week, and it's hard to tell what that means. But Tennessee didn't look great against Bowling Green. So...
Well, Pitt is favored in this game, but shockingly, they're not favored by much, which was actually kind of surprising to me.
That is. I saw that. 3.5?
That's what it was. I don't know what it is today. That was what it was last night when we did the Lunch Money show. So I have a feeling that line is going to move between now and kickoff. I think it's going to move up.
Yeah, give me Pitt.
Yeah, give me Pitt at 3.5. Definitely. I'd probably take it at anything under 6, honestly.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's that low. Honestly, I think Pitt wins probably by 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry. Something the other night too when we lost to. I'm sorry I keep bringing this up. I'm a Tech fan.
Go ahead. It's okay.
I was like, how did Tennessee fans do it? I was like, how do they come on here and how do they take this punishment so badly all the time? I'm learning still.
I think Pitt's a pretty solid team, and I can't say the same for Tennessee. The only thing I could say is if Tennessee wins this game, I'll at least feel happy for BVD. Maybe something. Right.
Yeah. That's I love too many Tennessee fans and hate too many Pitt fans for this. For me to cheer for friggin' Luke, the Tar Heel, the depressed Tar Heel, which don't hang your head too much there, bud. He says, "Do you hate every coastal team?" No, I really don't. Hate Virginia Tech, Miami, Pitt. God, I hate Pitt. And Georgia and Notre Dame are about the only teams I hate, really. North Carolina, I don't have a problem with. Virginia, I actually kind of like. Obviously, I want to beat them, but just to answer a little question there. I kind of like Clemson. I'm not gonna lie. I wish that our rivalry was as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
But I just find myself pulling for Clemson, sometimes. So
that's all right. We welcome all the support we can get.
Yeah.
All right. I see you're avoiding this next game. What is this? This is Kennesaw State against the Yellow Jackets. This is in Atlanta, right?
Yes, it's in Bobby Dodd. Not that fucking matters. We didn't even pack out the stands against Northern Illinois, so we have no type of home field advantage. It was a whiteout too. Do you know we have our own whiteout? Yeah, we do. It doesn't matter. I can't even be confident enough to pick this team. To pick my team, I can't. I think I know that it's still fresh wound, but I think you're overreacting. Well, at most you could say okay, clearly there's a talent difference. Not that matters. But
the question is, is Northern Illinois better than Kennesaw State? I think they are.
I don't think so.
Kennesaw State isn't this
our best games because you look at it and the line I feel like is getting blurred. between bad FBS and good FCS. I mean, Kennesaw State's a top 15 FCS team, and they run the triple option, which trips up teams. Don't defend against that. And Jeff Collins has already lost to a FCS triple option team. So, how can I? I can't be confident in this game, dude. I can't.
Oh man.
What a pathetic state of affairs.
Yeah, I mean, 5 days ago you were saying how Georgia Tech was going to be good. Now you're like, I don't even have faith that they're going to beat Kennesaw State. It's been a total 180-degree turn you've taken here.
It is, because my hopes have just been dashed. Like, we can't get it against our easiest opponent, in my opinion. Who can we? Not a triple option team. I have no idea. This will be like their Super Bowl. They're Kennesaw State. I explained their history a little bit earlier. I mean, their coach has passion. He's built that program up from nothing, and he's a good coach, which is more than I can say about Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the line is. It's one of these games no one cares about except for me, so it's not on the betting website. I kind of would like to. I kind of am interested in the spread to see if we're even favored.
You should be able to. Here, I'll find it. Hold on a second. It's got to be underneath these NCAA FB extra games. That's what it's going to be under.
FB. My prediction is that we are favored by 3.5.
Honestly, I think most of these
17.5.
Oh, you found it?
You're out of your mind.
So you're betting?
Give me Kennesaw State. Some people are saying they're going to beat us by 3. I mean, I wouldn't even doubt it. You're out of your mind. Give me Kennesaw State. What a joke.
I'll tell you one thing I do. I like the under. Under 53.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the triple option teams don't usually score a lot of points anyways.
Right.
And Georgia Tech's not going to score a lot of points either.
Ha 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 ha!
Sorry,
funny state of affairs.
It's not funny. It's not. I mean, it is funny, but I'm not trying to rub it in here.
I know.
Where's the?
I know.
Look, they have Clemson and South Carolina State as an extra game, 45.5.
Holy shit!
Where's the Duke one? We were looking for that earlier. It's got to be.
Yeah, we were. I was looking for that too. Duke and North Carolina A&T.
I don't see it. I mean, that game is so bad that they won't even put a line out on it.
We talked about it so much, I'm interested in it now.
Yeah, I don't see
Austin Peete plays Ole Miss. Is that what I'm seeing here? Huh. Austin Peete. It's not even on here.
No, it's not.
Oh man, I was kind of Mercer and Alabama's on here.
All right, so to get out of the depression cyclone that we're in, moving on to another depressing game, which I don't even have anything to talk about. Who is this? Wake Forest? Who is this logo here?
It is Norfolk State.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
And I see them right here. They're favored by 43. Give me Wake Forest.
Wake Forest is favored by 43 in this game?
Yeah, give me them too.
Good God almighty.
I mean, it's if Wake Forest wants to, but they whooped Old Dominion last week, which is, I mean, say what you want about Old Dominion. I mean, their defense isn't bad for what they are. Give me Wake Forest.
Okay.
Probably beat them 100-0 or something.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on. This one is actually interesting.
Yes, this is.
NC State and Mississippi State. I know it seems like I'm going way down the Homer rabbit hole here today, with picking Virginia over Illinois, Florida State over Jacksonville State, Pitt over Tennessee, and now I'm going to pick North Carolina State against man.
Really?
Yeah, I am. I think that you're not. You think Mississippi State's going to win this game?
Well, I kind of think it's a mismatch because, of course, Mississippi State is the air raid.
Yeah.
And like I said, I consider a bad SEC team about as good as a mid-tier ACC team, which North Carolina is, I would consider a good ACC team, which, North Carolina has a bad pass defense. North Carolina State. I mean, so
I'm looking for the line on this because
in favor of Mississippi State. I know they look bad against Louisiana Tech last week, but I don't know, man. It's an SEC West team, toughest division in the dang game.
NC State's favored.
Are they really?
Yes, favored by 2.5 right now.
2.5.
I look.
Basically a pick 'em.
This is not surprising to me. Mississippi State, I just don't think is a very good team. And I'm not saying North Carolina State's, the greatest thing since sliced bread or anything, but I think they do have a pretty good squad this year. And this Mike Leach experiment in the SEC is just not going to work.
I agree. I thought that was a weird hire from the beginning. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but he's just been inconsistent. Remember how close their game against Georgia was last year? And then they upset LSU, and then they lose to the likes of like Arkansas. So I really don't know, man. I would stay away from this one, honestly. This is such a wild. I really have no idea.
I'm not so confident that I would bet this game, even at 2.5.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't either.
But I'm picking NC State to win the game. If gun to my head situation, if I had to pick the winner or die, I think NC State's going to win the game. And it's hard.
I guess.
And it might not be by much, but I think they're better.
You know what's funny? I know we're all football fans here, but didn't they have something like last year in baseball? NC State, Mississippi State won the Natty in baseball because NC State had COVID or something like that.
Yeah,
pretty crazy. That's kind of funny,
right?
Maybe NC State has a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah,
I'm just making shit up. I can't even pick this game, dude. I mean, give me NC State, I guess. ACC homer moment, but
and believe me, I would love to see NC. I hate Dave Doran so much that it's not going to hurt my feelings if they do lose, but I just think that they're better.
It would be a good ACC win, that's for sure, especially after this past week.
Yeah.
To beat an SEC West team, I mean, that's about as good as it gets. I know
that's true.
Mississippi State's lower end, but
all right, moving on to Clemson and South Carolina State. There's really nothing to talk about here.
Yeah, they're favored by 43 or something like that.
Except for the idiots that have been telling me that Clemson's offense is terrible.
Oh, come on.
They'll score 50 points this week.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have no problem.
Yeah, so that's that. I don't know. Is there anything you want to add to that other than that's going to be a blowout?
I mean, as far as the spread goes, Clemson will cover if they want to cover. It's just, they'll cover. It's
and they'll play every single player on the team.
Yeah,
they'll play 100 guys. So
they'll cover.
But all right, so this one actually is pretty interesting, even though it's two lower level teams in their conference, Syracuse and Rutgers.
I get so excited for these games. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love bad team games. It's the toilet bowl, dude. I'm so excited for this game.
Well, there's a lot of hype around Rutgers with the Greg Schiano going into his second season. They looked like a completely different team last year.
That's
shows you what good coaching can do for a program, even though they're talent wise they're still not up to snuff. But I don't know. This is interesting because a lot of people were picking Syracuse to be like the worst team in the Power 5 this year.
Yeah.
And lose to Ohio last week. Meanwhile, they manhandled Ohio. So I mean, I don't know. This could be interesting. Let's look at the line on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in this. I'm so excited for this. This is great. Maybe Rutgers will adopt me. You think so?
They'll adopt anybody. They'll take anybody.
They like invented football.
But you went from a one-teamer to you went from a two-teamer to a four-teamer to now you're wanting to join a fifth team. At first you were Georgia Tech and Clemson, then you went to Georgia Tech, Clemson, and Alabama.
Okay. I was never a Clemson fan. I'm just a fan of whoever Georgia's playing that week.
You just said you like Clemson a couple minutes ago.
Well, I mean, I don't hate you guys. That's all.
Okay, I got you.
I just kind of. I mean, I'm not a Clemson fan. I just kind of, I don't really have a problem. I pull for you guys sometimes. I mean, I do have a dog in some of these fights, in some of these big time fights. But I pull against Georgia most of the time.
Like when Clemson plays Pitt, you're going to root for Clemson.
Absolutely.
Right.
I hope you guys stomp their brains in.
Okay, so I'm looking at the line on the Rutgers and Syracuse game right now.
I found
Do you
it.
see it? Okay, so so for everybody who's not looking at it, Rutgers is favored by 2.5 over the Fruit.
That sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Give me Rutgers.
This game's in Syracuse. Not that this matters. I mean, what is that?
Oh, really?
I mean,
They play in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
They don't have a. Is it there? That's not their own stadium, right? That's like
that's the basketball stadium.
Yeah.
Or the basketball arena, whatever. But the damn thing holds like 49,000 people. It's actually that's actually somewhere I want to go experience a game. Indoors. I mean, there's not a lot of domes. That's the only dome in the Power 5.
Look, you asshole. He says that seems like a lateral move.
What?
From Georgia Tech to Rutgers.
I mean, he's not wrong right now.
Rutgers has a good coach. That's more I can freaking say.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna go with Rutgers. Because they looked pretty good last year. They're scrappy. I like Shiano. I bet Tennessee's kicking themselves right now for running him out of town, right? Syracuse, even though they did handle against Ohio, I mean, Ohio's terrible. Rutgers might win by a touchdown or something. That's kind of my thoughts on this. What about you?
I mean, flip a coin here. Yeah. I think I would probably pick Rutgers to win the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse pulled the upset.
Yeah. I'm in the same, nothing.
A little bit of home field advantage there in the Carrier Dome. It
won't be a blowout either way. I don't think. Rutgers might win by 2 touchdowns at most. Or Syracuse. Syracuse freaking beat us last year. You know that?
Oh,
yep.
Geez.
We went up to the Carrier Dome and freaking lost to the Fruit.
What did they only won like 3 games, like 2 or 3.
One game. This is the type of shit we're dealing with here.
Oh, all right. Moving on. North Carolina against whatever this thing is here.
That's Georgia State.
Oh, yeah, Georgia State.
It is actually kind of interesting. Well, it's not interesting. Georgia State got whooped by Army last week, badly.
Yeah.
But, of course, everybody's kind of mentioned this because they upset Tennessee a few years ago.
So,
and then
this game, we talked about this on the Lunch Money show last night. This was going to be one that I'm probably going to bet because I think... Really? Yeah, after what happened last week to North Carolina, I think they're going to come out here and just destroy Georgia State.
I agree too.
So, let me see, where's the line at?
Yeah, Georgia State's not any good either because, I know they played a triple option team, but God, the triple option, when does a triple option team ever score 37? I think it was 37 to 7. Okay,
so it's 25.5 is the spread.
Ooh, that's pretty big.
It's pretty big, but I don't know. So
I'm going to stick with my guns here. I think I was saying that North Carolina, it doesn't take away their talent, doesn't take away their good coaching. They'll be, they're not going to have a horrible year this year. I think North Carolina covers, but also don't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I think they cover. I think they win by at least 30.
Yeah.
So 25.5. Give me the heels.
Army can beat them by however 30 points. So can North Carolina.
Yeah, first game at home.
Yeah.
So
they'll be pissed off.
I have a feeling, just even though they lost last week, I think the stadium will be full because just the anticipation of having full stadiums, and there's a lot of hype around North Carolina this year. They dropped in the rankings, but they're still ranked. Yep. So.
What did they drop to? I didn't see the AP poll yet, but did they punish them pretty bad?
I think they dropped to 15.
15, that's not terrible.
Something like that, somewhere around there. They dropped 4 or 5 spots.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's about right, probably.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I think we're both in agreement here. I think I haven't jumped off the North Carolina train yet. I still think they'll be a pretty good team. Still have a chance to win.
Oh, they dropped to 24. Wow. Did they?
They dropped. Huh?
They're saying they dropped all the way to 24.
What? The line?
Wow. No,
When?
they're ranking. They went.
What?
They dropped from 10 to 24. That's what they're saying.
Come on. That's terrible.
Wow.
They'll climb back up. I think that's a little harsh.
That is harsh.
I mean, Virginia Tech. I don't know. I think that's a little harsh. There was more embarrassing losses in the top. In Washington. Whatever. I mean. I don't know.
Is Miami on upset alert against Appalachian State?
I don't think so. I think they handle App State, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, App State's a good team. Like, they looked great last week against, who was it, Eastern Carolina, an AAC opponent, and they whooped them bad.
Yeah.
But it might be closer than. I just don't see App State winning.
I don't. I don't either. I was just trolling Miami fans.
Hey, I'm all for that. But I mean, I didn't see enough. It could be close. I wouldn't put them on upset alert, but I mean, would it be surprised if App State wins by 3? I really wouldn't, honestly.
No, Hurricane Logan. I don't. I actually, we talked about this pretty in depth last night too. I think that Miami's going to blow the doors off of App State.
Yeah, I mean, well, App State's just no pushover. That's all.
Yeah,
but I still think Miami wins. Maybe not. I don't know about blow the doors off.
Well, it depends on what your definition. I consider 2 touchdowns a blowout.
I wouldn't consider that a blowout, honestly. I would say 3.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 touchdowns seems about right, I think. Hurricane Logan says 45-10. It's possible. It's possible they blow the door. It's possible it goes from blowout to App State winning by 3.
Another former Clemson quarterback, Chase Bryce.
It would be funny if Miami lost. It'd be very bad for the ACC, but be funny.
Yeah, you would see an epic melt. I mean, they're already melting down after losing to Alabama.
God,
imagine the meltdown on YouTube by Miami fans if they lost to App State.
I can't believe they're upset about losing to Alabama. I mean, obviously you get upset over a loss, but like, I can't believe that they thought they had a chance in that game. To be honest, I was never.
I didn't really say they had a chance to win.
I never ever thought.
I thought they had a chance to keep it interesting for at least half of the game.
I thought maybe at most that. Okay, the spread's 9 points. I would take Miami in that.
Yeah, well, me too. 9 points. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would take Miami in that.
Give me the Hurricanes by at least 14.
14 sounds about right.
Yeah,
I would say. So yeah,
Virginia Tech,
2 amazing games.
Yeah, there's not really much to talk about here. First of all, what's the Boston College spread? Because I think it's like 37.5 or something.
Oh, give me Boston College.
Give me Boston College in that. I think this is going to be 50-0, the same as they did last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure that UMass can score. If they do score, they might score 7 points on a trash end of the game touchdown, or maybe some kind of fluke, turnover or something. But other than that, the UMass has no chance to score, and Boston College can probably have their way with them.
I mean, how much better is UMass than even Colgate?
They're not. So
much better.
UMass, in my opinion, UMass and UConn are the 2 worst teams at any level of football.
Oh my God, UConn.
UMass and UConn.
Holy cross.
You know that UConn is on Clemson's schedule?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's embarrassing.
I wish they were on our schedule.
I don't. I mean, that's embarrassing. It's just a waste of a game.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
we'd probably lose to them. We'd probably lose to UConn.
But that's another one I'm going to bet. 37.5 points, I think, that sounds like a lot, but not against UMass. Look, Georgia Tech would beat UMass by more than 30.
Ha! Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, they would. That's how bad they are.
Anybody by more than 30. Anyone. And the Jeff Collins 2 years we haven't made
You would.
anybody.
You would beat UMass by that much. They're that bad.
They are bad. They're really bad.
So
That's true. We totally skipped over Virginia Tech and Middle Tennessee State.
yeah, well,
The unicorns, I guess that is the Pegasi.
unicorns.
Is that it? It has wings, so it's not a unicorn. It's definitely a Pegasus.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what their mascot is.
I can't find the line. It might be in extras. Oh, here it is. 20 points for Virginia Tech.
Wow, that's it.
I mean, like you said earlier, man, Virginia Tech. Would you be surprised if Virginia Tech lost this game?
I would be surprised if they lost. Yeah, I would.
Would you be surprised if it was close?
No, because they've done this before.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what my point with Virginia Tech is that I'm not buying into anything until I see at least 4 or 5 games out of them this season, because this is what they're known to do. Didn't they lose to Old Dominion a couple years ago?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Would you take them to cover the 20? I don't think I would.
I'm not confident enough in Virginia Tech to take them at anything right now. I think that they're going to win by 20? Probably, but I'm not confident enough to bet it.
Me neither.
So
I mean, I can't bet because my wife forbade it because I'm terrible at it.
Scott Kerr says their mascot is Icarus. Okay, so it's like
Icarus. Oh, we totally skipped over Louisville versus Eastern Kentucky. I think that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
give me Eastern Kentucky or whoever that is. Louisville's awful.
Damn, man. I mean, it's not like they lost to freaking Northern Illinois or something. I mean, Ole Miss is pretty good.
I know Ole Miss. They're not bad.
I predicted. I saw this coming for Louisville. To be honest, I think that they could still have a chance to make a bowl. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, well, they'll have a chance to make a bowl. Yeah.
I say they're about a 5 or 6 win team. Well, I was saying that in the offseason, and I know I didn't watch the game, but it's still pretty much on track for what I thought. They'll be Eastern Kentucky. I don't know what the line is, but
I wonder if there is one. Let's look.
They'll have no problem. I'm trying to find it.
It's going to be extra, believe me. That's really
Definitely.
That's the definition of extra.
Yeah. Ha!
What is it?
Sorry, I saw the Georgia Tech line again. I had to crap me up a little bit. I can't find it.
I mean, that's one of those ones that's so bad that they don't even have a line on it.
Dude. Oh, here it is. Nope. That's Southeast Louisiana versus Louisiana Tech.
No, there's no.
Here it is.
You see
28.5. Louisville is favored by. God.
Where are you seeing that? Is it extra?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
7 p.m. game. Yeah.
28.5?
That's pretty hefty, but
no.
Pretty sure. Well, it's an FBS team. I mean,
yeah, I don't know anything about Eastern Kentucky. I mean, I'm joking around about Louisville being bad. I mean, they might win this by 50. I don't know, but that's not going to change my perception. Well, maybe it will change my perception if they can go out there and win this thing 55-0. That might give me something nice to say about them. But that's what they need to be doing against Eastern Kentucky.
I just don't know about their offense, man. I don't know if they're capable of putting up 28.5 is pretty hefty.
That's a lot of points, especially by a team that just got manhandled.
What's the over-under on? I'm curious.
60.5.
Oh, take the under. Man, take the under.
Well,
what's that? We did it.
Hopefully, well, I do know for a fact that we have some better games to talk about next week. We'll have some more conference games to talk about.
I mean, the Pitt versus Tennessee game looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ones on here. I'm really looking forward to the NC State and Mississippi State game.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good. Powerhouse Kennesaw State versus the lowly Georgia Tech. That might be good.
Yeah. You going to watch it?
State Miami has potential to be a good game.
Are you going to watch the Georgia Tech game?
What's that?
You're gonna watch the Georgia Tech game, right? I mean, you're gonna subject yourself to that punishment, or?
I'm in too deep at this point, man.
Yeah, I got you.
I was ready to freaking never watch a freaking Georgia Tech football game again, but Now that I've calmed down a little bit,
Well, may I advise that your wife or your friends or whoever's going to watch the game with you to remove any sharp objects from the room.
Dude, those assholes heckled me the whole game. I don't know if you were able to catch any of it.
No, because I was at the Clemson game.
I had a room full of people, dude, and they just heckled me the entire time. Most of them didn't even watch football, and the two that did were Georgia fans. So I got a really hard time from those people. They didn't even care, they don't know about football. They just laugh at me because I'm cheering for a bad team and I'm freaking out.
They think you're out of your mind, probably.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah. Well, that's what we love about you. You're wacky like the rest of us.
I'm glad so many people think it was so funny of my heart being stomped in.
I told Lou last night, I said it was right up there with the Carolina jackpot meltdown post-game reaction.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I'm glad that everybody thought it was funny, and it is my most popular video, but I can't react like that every week, dude. I don't got it in me. I reacted like that because I was surprised. If we go out and lose to Kennesaw State next week, I'll be like, well, that's about right.
Yeah.
I can't do it every week like Carolina Jackpot. I don't know how.
Jordan Bowman says college football brings out the worst in him. Well, it does that with all of us. That's kind of the point.
I was besides myself. I was mad and then hysterical. I was like, I'd never seen something so embarrassing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, another 2 hours went by like it was nothing. I can't believe.
We had so much to talk about this week.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about. We both had to have our therapy session as far as the games that we lost.
Oh God!
And surprisingly, we got 2 hours out of a lot of bad games. Really, there just wasn't a whole lot of great games to talk about in the ACC this week. There was a couple of good ones, but
there's yeah.
But as the weeks go on, once we get into conference play, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting.
It'll be interesting for everybody else. I feel like I'm going to be on the outside looking in now, but
I don't know because the division that Georgia Tech is in is just so unpredictable that even if the teams
win the coast.
Even if the teams are perceived to be bad, it's still a lot of parity in that division, and I think that parity is interesting, and because it's out of all the divisions in college football, it's got the most parity, I think.
Yeah, I would love to come out and beat Pitt. I would love to beat Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for? Probably, but I've given up on a bowl. Now I'd just like to see it be somehow funny if we somehow beat Pitt.
Yeah.
Because I've been arguing with the same Pitt fan all off season, and of course he's had a field day with me these past few days. The most I can hope for at this point is that we just win as many games as possible.
When do you play Pitt?
Week 5.
Week 5.
Right after we play North Carolina.
Woo. North Carolina and Pitt back to back. That's a rough sledding there.
Oh, you want to talk about rough sledding? No. That's right after we play Clemson too. So Clemson on the road, UNC at the Mercedes-Benz, and then we get Pitt at home.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then to finish off the season, we get
Georgia,
Miami, Boston College, Notre Dame, and Georgia.
Ooh.
In a row. Yeah. It's gonna be another 3-win season.
Yeah. Maybe only if you don't get past Kennesaw State, it might be a 1-win season.
Yeah, we'll be lucky to get 3 wins.
All right, I'm starting to feel sorry for you now.
You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
And we're stuck with Collins. He's a shitty coach, and we're stuck with him.
Oh God.
We better. Right. I done run through my root beer.
All right, yeah.
Tomorrow I got to. I might have to pull out a root beer float tomorrow because Jeff Collins come out today on his presser and was asked. He was asked, what do you have to say to the fans that might be upset? And he laughed.
Oh no,
dude! This is a guy that is tricked everyone. And he's laughing at us.
I know this. You called him a snake oil salesman on your rant video.
Snake oil salesman.
All right.
He sold us a bill of goods. He's a trickster. He got me, man. He got me. And all I could do, I was upset and hurt and sad. All I can do is laugh about it now.
Yeah.
He tricked me. Look at me. Silly me. I done made a whole YouTube channel about it.
Yeah.
He got me, dude. He got me.
Oh.
Fucker.
All right, guys. We did it again. Unfortunately, we have to end the show. I believe BVD is going to go live, so everyone can go hang out with him and give him your best wishes. It's now 9:00. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for everybody who hit that super chat and supported the show. Me and Sea-Dog really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And what you got going on this week, Sea-Dog, on YouTube? Anything?
Oh.
Anything planned? I mean, any shows planned or just?
I'm straight up shows. No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm going on to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports podcast is having me on this week to talk about the Georgia Tech game, and you know what, you guys, I'm not gonna be. I mean, I said this before. I'm not going to be sitting down editing my videos for hours anymore. I'm going to take my selfie stick here, and I'm going to become Carolina Jackpot.
There you go.
I'm going to stick my phone in here and yell at it for a few minutes, and that's going to be my content. I'm not going to sit here and edit hours for a shitty team and edit my videos and make them nice. I feel like I put more effort in than my football team does. So that's what's in store for the Sea-Dog channel. You can just see me pissed off, mad, and hurt, if that's what you want to see.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So
I'm becoming Carolina Jackpot. That's what I'm becoming.
Yeah. So I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for my call-in show. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you again next week. Same ACC show on the same ACC channel.
Hopefully we have some better tidings next week.
Go Tigers.
Here's that. Go Jackets.